everybody. It is exciting to see everyone. It's going to be a wild it's going to be a wild few weeks through the end of March because I'm in a anthology that a lot of you know about, and this is becoming a great way for me to actually share a lot of the authors who are in it. So besides my normal Wednesday, I've added a Friday show so I can get more of these amazing authors to be able to tell their story, to be able to talk about what they do, and that opportunity for you to get to know them. So it's an exciting time. Before I get into today's guest, I want to go through a few announcements, a few opportunities. So I'm going to start with my sister Danielle. One of the things that we are all about, being heart-centered, is taking care of those, being able to step up and help those who are in a position that they could use some help. And in this case, with Danielle, there was a health scare in her family. And they've created a kind of like a GoFundMe, but I believe it's called Meal Train, something like that, to focus on the food because their income's being cut down. And it's an opportunity to just help this amazing sister as she and her family are going through a difficult time right now. Danielle is just, she really is a sweetheart. And when I talk about her, one of the things that she does is a focus on HR. So she's creating a business where she is your HR. And when she and I talked yesterday, we were talking yesterday, and she commented about how when she works with companies, she likes to work with them as though they're family. And that is just such an amazing way of looking at it. When we can see each other as family, when we can work together to make something amazing, collaboration, doing it in this kind of a heart-centered family way is beautiful. For Danielle, this is an opportunity. The QR code goes to everything, and it's that opportunity to pray for her, to lift her up. If you have questions, you are free to DM her. I don't want to go into specific details because, as with everybody, that's for them to share. That's for her to decide what she does and doesn't want to say. Another thing that I'm going to pop up is being an author. These are some of the books I'm in, including down in the bottom left corner. It's the anthology that's about to come out. We are now in the collection stage of the first draft of chapters. Those will be in basically today, and me and CJ, Constance Leland, are going to be spending the weekend editing chapters, which is a beautiful thing. We get to read these stories. We get to work with amazing authors to tell their story, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. The other 3 books that I have on here, the Armor of God series is a series that I self-published, which really aligns with my Move Beyond Boxes and Shine movement. The main character is being told throughout his life who he is, what he's expected, what he's supposed to do, and he's looked down upon. Even though he's the oldest son, his father looks at his younger brother as the heir apparent. So when he goes on a quest under his brother to find the armor of God, the missing pieces, it also becomes a personal quest for him to understand the box that he's in and to find his own way beyond that box to be his authentic self. And then the third book, up in the top right corner, this one's traditionally published by Urano Publishing, which is a Spanish firm, but they're coming into the US. I call it my reinvention memoir. It covers a period of just over 2 years where I basically said, I've had enough of what everybody else is telling me. It's time to move beyond a box so that I can shine as my own authentic self. And as I say, it's like I'm a 7-time author, and there are 3 more books at least on the way this year, including the anthology, which is this one. So, beyond boxes, beyond boundaries, thriving in life's gray zone. This collection of, we are up to 27 authors in this book. This book is going to be a guide because each one of these authors is going to pour their own story in about what it's like to be in the gray zone and how it is that they were able to thrive in the gray zone. And by doing that, they're able to give a manual of how they did it. So when you read each of these stories, you're going to find something that resonates with you. And as you can see the dates on there, we are less than 4 weeks away from the Kindle release of this book. So it's happening quick. When CJ puts something together, when I'm going to put something out shortly, it happens quickly. The idea's out there. Everybody gets their opportunity to join. Then the door closes and off we run. It's beautiful. I love how this works. I just absolutely love working with my sister CJ and all of these beautiful authors. And this is an updated graphic that really does show all 27 authors now. It keeps growing. It keeps changing. But this is it now. This is where we're at. Another really exciting thing that I want to announce is this February premium publicity opportunity through my sister CJ, Dr. Constance Leland, and you can see it's Lua at levelupbydocleland.com. This is an opportunity to, at a reduced price, be in 5 magazines, have international coverage. And look at this, over 13 million readership in these. However, this is only available for less than 2 weeks. When February is over, so isn't this opportunity. So if you are interested, now is the time to go contact my sister, Constance. The email is there. Let her know you're interested. Tell her where you found out about it. She will give you the details, tell you what needs to be done. And it's your opportunity to go out there and get publicity around the world at a significantly reduced price. So please check into it. Don't wait till the last minute. If, if when you're looking at doing this, jump in and do it. And now I am very excited to bring up my brother from another mother who's on another continent, but he is also one of the authors in Beyond Boundaries. And this is that opportunity for everyone to meet him, get to know him, ask questions. This is a very interactive live stream. So for those who are live, please chime in. Let me know you're here, ask questions, talk with each other. And if you're on replay, let me know you're on replay because your comments still come through. And I want to make sure that even on replay, you are a part of this show. So now, without further ado, welcome, Olu.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. We crossed paths. We've had plenty of kind of comment conversations. We've been in some of the same rooms and such. But this is that very first real conversation
I
where
believe so.
we get to talk with each other, and it's not as part of a larger group.
Yes, yes, I agree with you on that.
So what time is it there anyway? Because I know you're in Nigeria.
Um, yes, it's 7 p.m. over here.
Okay, well at least it's not midnight.
No, to be honest with you, it really wouldn't matter what time it is. I've had events and engagements even at 3 a.m. You know, so in this new world that we're in now, where we're collaborating and working with one another beyond borders, you know, time is just something that is has to be very flexible for us. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's true. There really isn't that boundary, that time constraint that there used to be in the past. And it's kind of it's nice. I know we always try to make sure that we are there to help kind of make sure that nobody has to be up in the middle of the night, but in a round world you kind of don't get much of a choice when you're on opposite
Exactly.
sides.
Let me, if you don't mind, let me put it another way for you.
Absolutely.
Let me explain the way I look at it. And I think I shared a bit of it with you just before we began. You see, the thing about me is I'm a realistic person.
Hmm.
Now, I consider it a blessing indeed that I get these kinds of incredible opportunities. A few people might not understand it, but I understand the value of opportunities like this. The reason
Right.
why I say that is because my country has this horrible reputation for being a country of scammers. So if I'm able to get on shows like this with people such as yourself and our dear sister CJ and so many other people, even Omar, what it means is that in a very small way, I'm beginning to buck that trend, that stereotype. So
Exactly.
yes, so I'm actually doing a service now. The thing is that, like I said, if I want to take if I want to take advantage of such opportunities, then it's my responsibility to show up whenever I have to. I cannot dictate to the person who has the show, particularly if they've had it for quite a while and there's a particular time that they have it. Those are the sacrifices you make. It's just like someone trying to join the NBA or the NFL. You have to go through certain process. You have to pay your dues. That's how it is. So it never bothers me, except when I fall off to sleep without knowing while waiting. That has happened like twice.
I totally can understand that, especially when it is that opposite sides, or it just the timing is off.
I
But
know.
I like what you said too about you're basically breaking stereotypes. It's your approach is this is who I am, and you are very much upfront about being heart centered and basically shifting a perceived narrative, which
Yes.
which really is moving beyond a box. Because
Exactly.
I know this very well with my own story, and there's so many others out there that that's really what it is. It's for some of us, it's not maybe not highlighting some aspect, yet not hiding it. And that's
Yeah.
really what I hear from you too. It's like you're not hiding where you're from.
No.
You're not promoting it necessarily, but you're not hiding it, and you're willing to
Exactly.
talk about it. And
Yes.
that's really the way to move beyond a box and start shifting narratives that need to be shifted.
Yes.
What I'd love to do is have you kind of talk a little bit about your background, what you do, kind of how you got to where you are now.
Oh boy.
And I know, and it's like we want to try and be careful not to go off the deep end and for
I
too
know.
long because there's only like 40 plus minutes left, but I know you've got an amazing story. So
Oh man.
I really love to get a taste of it so that
Mm.
others really do get to know you and see that heart-centered piece.
Okay. Thank you, Susanna. Um. hmm, It's been an interesting journey indeed, as I'm sure everybody's journey has been. I'm 51 years old. I'll be 52 December of this year. I'm Sagittarian. I'm not like really into astrology, but I don't dismiss it either. So I'm an optimist, an eternal optimist. I've gone through some things in my life that I know for a fact I've read about and seen some other people go through, and I mean, it ends up leading them into, becoming alcoholics, drug addicts. Some people even taking their lives. I've had a really interesting life. Um, I've been in graphic and web design, branding, brand communications for almost 28 years now. My
Right.
passion is computing. My background is computer science.
Okay.
Until 2012, at about January 23rd of 2012, I was the youngest ever group head of brand communications for three subsidiaries in Nigeria, with about capital base of almost $14 million. I was the youngest. Um, I love what I do. I'm fortunate because I'm aware that we don't always end up the way we do simply because of the way we are raised. That has a part to do with it. We're told about, not nature and nurture. A lot of factors go into making us the person that we end up becoming. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was a very hardworking woman, a businesswoman, very industrious. My father was in Denmark for a couple of years. He's an electrical engineer, electronic engineer. So I was raised in a very sound middle class family with very religious Christian background, and that is to a certain extent what I feel has been the platform, for the person that you see before you and that you all interact with. Fairness is important to me, integrity also. That might be connected on a psychological level to the fact that I'm a proud person to a certain extent. So I don't like people to talk to me in a way that is disrespectful. So what I do is
Right.
I conduct myself in a way that will not give people room to do that. I would not like to be referred to as a thief or as a con person. So I make sure that I live my life, with as much integrity as possible. I'm very transparent. um when I was younger, I've had friends that I ended up disconnecting with because I felt that they were pretentious. And I always feel that when people are pretentious and they try to project a life that is different from the one that they actually have, there is inherent danger there, for them to lie, for them to maybe even go into crime to try to
Right.
sustain that image that they're projecting. So I'm down to earth. I speak my mind if I'm in an environment to do that. I've worked with a couple of startups. I had a company in Roseville, California, that I worked with between February and November of 2022. It was on contract. Right now, I'm on the serious, aggressive lookout for another opportunity, like a full-time opportunity, full-time engagement. I've got a couple of engagements here and there, but I'm a father of four kids, four lovely kids. I have a daughter in the university studying microbiology. That's my first child that I'm very proud of, and gives me joy when I look at
Oh
how
yeah.
she has turned out, compared from where we were coming from. I've gone through quite a bit, from living a very comfortable life when I was working in the bank, living in a huge apartment with, large screen TV sets and so on and so forth. I ended up in a single room apartment, where I could barely feed my kids. I had two of them then. I used to go around buying things on credit. I would borrow money. It got to a point that I couldn't go out until it was evening, because I was afraid of people that I was already owing seeing me, and the longer it went, as time went on, I had limited number of routes that I could take, you know, to try and go to other places. I had to start going further and further, from where we were living to get credit. It's been a horrible experience until 2019 when I got my first website design commission. And since then, I'm very grateful to God, really, and then to a lot of friends. It's almost as
Right.
if life has done it in such a way that at certain points in my life, I run into people, I connect with people online who are able to see through to who I am, the substance of my person, and then they help me from one point to another, like my incredible sister, Dr. Constance Leyland, Stanley H. Green, Omar, that I can see in the audience. He was saying hi. He's giving me a
Right.
couple of jobs, and then now and the other people. So I've been taking it one day at a time, you
Hmm.
know. We must understand I'm this kind of person that I'm not a doormat, it's not like I'm a doormat. I believe in expressing gratitude to people who give you a chance and who support you because they don't owe you. They don't have to give you the chance. They don't have to support you. It's not an obligation on their part. So
Right.
sometimes I think when I express gratitude, it might be misconstrued as being someone that is a doormat. No, I believe in expressing gratitude. Very important to me, because people don't owe me anything. They don't. Nobody owes me anything, and yet they show that they care. They give me incredible opportunities, such as being a part of this anthology. Now the thing is that no matter how little it is, even this show that I'm on now, no matter how little it is, it's gonna have some kind of added value to me as a person. There might be someone in the audience right there who's seen, the notification of the show, and probably maybe they're in between places, and then they have like a couple of minutes to take a look at it, and then they come on, they start looking at it, and when you started talking, they decide to stay. They might reach out to me after and give me an opportunity, and then
Mhm.
so I mean, we need to be realistic and have a healthy sense of perspective of who we are. It doesn't mean that we're weak. You know. Thank you.
No, and you are a very present person
Thank you.
is the way I see it.
Thank
Because
you.
there's when we look at what we can end up doing in life, and this is something that I've figured out as well. There's forgiveness, there's gratitude, and there's just being present in the moment. And when you said taking it day by day,
Yes.
to that is being present. That's not focusing on the past, anything of the past that's dragging you back. You're focused now. You're not trying to live in the future. It sounds to me like your time is going at the pace it's supposed to,
Yes.
and the things show up when they're supposed to. And the beauty of it is the people who show up when they're supposed to be there. And that is one of the most grateful things when you can sit there and go, even if it's like 20 years ago, oh, that person was put there for me at that moment. It
Of
may have
course.
taken me some time to figure it out, but it's there.
Yes.
So, what are some of the things that you are doing right now?
Okay. So I'm sure. I'm sure you and I'm sure you and Dr. Leland might have been concerned because you've not heard from me. I just completed my chapter yesterday. So definitely I know that the deadline is today. That's for the incredible anthology, Beyond Limits, Living in the Gray Area. So I'm gonna upload, in fact, I have it on my whiteboard after this incredible show. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm a little over 3,000 words, but we'll deal with that in editing.
It's
It's
that won't be a problem because unless you change something, I've got yours. So I
oh,
get
okay.
to I get to read yours, and I'll
Oh,
be
thank
editing
you. Oh,
yours.
okay. Thank you. And with all of the experience you've had with all the publications, yeah, I mean, it's just wonderful to have you. Because the thing is that if a person hasn't been to a place before, they can't guide someone else. You know, and that is what
Exactly.
I think. Yeah, I can understand it. We even we all want to live in a mansion. We want to have more than enough disposable income. We want to be able to maybe have private jet, go to Tibet, go to Cairo, see the pyramids, go to the Bahamas, Monte Carlo, and all of those things. I know it's understandable. But the thing is that we cannot dispute the fact that every time we go through certain experiences, we become more. It's almost as if we can see better, and we become really where we become guides. We become people.
Right.
We can be a part of an ontology if we don't have stories to tell. And we can have stories to tell if we haven't had certain experiences in life, challenges, and over, being for, fortunate enough to overcome them. So right now, I'm in the anthology. I'm working on the magazine. Very important, very very key responsibility for me. Very important for me because it's a medium that I'd be able to use all of my creative abilities to represent all of my brothers and sisters in the Level Up Academy family. So I
Mhm.
have that, and then I'm working with Stanley H. Green in a way, to support his audio events. So, but like I said, I spent quite a lot of time searching for opportunities and submitting applications. I had an interview recently, um, and I didn't end up getting the opportunity. A little bit traumatic, but it happens. Um, I had another last year for an English Yoruba interpretation role, and I had 17 days of training. At the end of the day, the company suspended the recruitment process. Very devastating after 17 days of training. But I
Right.
mean, like I said, I think part of life, part of being able to stay from temptations to take the lesser, the lower path in life is about being resilient. You know, when you get hit by disappointment, just take the time out, rest. Nobody said you won't fall, nobody said you won't be knocked to your knees. The thing
Yep.
is, when you are, take a rest, take some rest, make sure that you're fine, and then get back on your feet, particularly when you have kids. I've got four of them, so I have a responsibility, you know.
Oh,
So for
yeah.
me, yeah, I posted recently, for me, we all talk about passion sometimes. We keep talking about passion and passion all the time. But sometimes a sense also helps. Sometimes we can run out of passion, particularly when you keep submitting those applications, you're coming up with resumes using all those keyword software, and you're customizing each resume to each role and you're submitting applications and applications. You can lose that passion for a while, the motivation. But when you think of what would happen to your kids, then it's a sense of duty. So sometimes we show up not out of passion, but out of a sense of duty, you know. So those are some of the things I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that, and I can definitely tell
Thank
your
you.
passion too, just listening to you. It's
Oh,
every time that I've listened to you, whether it was on a Zoom chat where there's a group of us, or it's uh, you're on a show, because I know you were on with CJ last year, I believe.
oh yes.
Your passion comes through, and
Thank you. Thank you.
it's it's really a good thing, because it's a passion, but it's a very heart-centered passion, and
Thank you.
it's it's beautiful to see that in people when they do have that passion.
Thank you.
And I know you have so many different things. Yeah, Jackie can see it too. So it comes across, which is
Thank you.
which is a beautiful thing. I, let's face it, we have an amazing heart-centered group of authors
Indeed.
in
Indeed.
this book,
Indeed.
Jackie being another one.
Mhm.
So, and yeah, it's all the people who show up, and I'm so happy. And please ask questions, because that's what we're here for, is to get to
Yeah.
learn more about you. And I kind of want to know, are there any are there any messages that you would want to give right now? Because I've
Wow.
noticed when we talk, well, when when we've talked, like last meeting that we had, that the group chat, uh,
Yeah.
you, this is why I say I see the passion, because there were some points
Thank you.
where you just kind of stepped in and said, okay, maybe this doesn't feel like I should do this, but I have to say this. And what came out was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm just curious, as you've kind of seen some of the comments, um, if there's anything that you would like to say, just to put out there. It's, and this isn't even that golden nugget at the end. It's just, it's a great time to get.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I will tell you thank you for giving me the opportunity. I must tell you this. I I want to remember who I was talking with recently. Yeah, okay. So I had this Zoom chat with a friend because I'd been invited to this event. I think it has to do with the United States State Department. So I was invited. They were trying to create connections between American businesses and African businesses. So I
Mm-hmm.
attended, and I shared my LinkedIn profile, and some of what I would love to achieve, that I was interested in. So a lot of people booked, and I had this wonderful guy when he came in, and I he and I were chatting, and this is where I'm going. The thing is that, and I told him this, and I've been thinking of this for quite a while. It's like we heart-centered people don't end up getting rich. Let me come out and say it. It's like we struggle. Yeah, yeah. Why I'm bringing it up is this. We're one family, we're brothers and sisters, and if we come to this kind of forums, and I think the least we can do out of the time we're taking, we should discuss something real. Because I mean, if you look at history, um, Christ didn't have anything, and so on and so forth. So, and the way the socioeconomic system in the world is built, is set up, you have to be ruthless, you have to be aggressive, you have to be ready to exploit people, you have to be cold hearted, and look at Carnegie, Rockefeller, Ford, and all of those people. While they were in operation, they took a lot of shortcuts. They did a lot of things that ruined the lives of a lot of people. Then at the end of the day, when they've amassed so much wealth, then they set up foundations, and start, but the people who have died have died. People who have committed suicide because you bought the company that they were working in, and then they had to lose their jobs and all of those things. You can't then come at the end of the day and say you're doing good, you're giving back. It might be better for you not to have taken in the first place. So this is my dream. This is my dream. My dream, my hope is that people who are art centered will continue to find one another, to seek out one another and connect and work together strategically in such a way that they would be able to build a kind of commonwealth, you know, that would disabuse that normal trend, of heart-centered people, always having to struggle. It's been like that throughout history. That's been my observation. For instance, like I told you when I was on the backstage with you, I'm fine being a follower. I'm very fine supporting others. And the thing is that you can start running until the person is able to walk. So that is what I do. I look for people that I can support at the level that I am now, because I can't go it alone now. I'm a Nigerian. I don't have the resources. And to be honest with you, I don't even think I have the inclination or the nature, you know. So I prefer to be in the background. I prefer to be, I'm the kind of person that likes to be told, okay, this thing needs to be done. Can you achieve it? And then I achieve it. I'm not like the
Right.
vision kind of person. That's just the fact. I'm good working in the background. So I'm not like the entrepreneurial kind, because a lot of things, a lot of things I would let fall through the cracks, so to say. To be an entrepreneur takes a lot. It takes a lot. You have to be conscious of so many things. I tried it before, so I know. I don't have the nerves for it. So instead, I look for opportunities where I can be of service and give some value. So I hope that, and what we have at Level Up Academy is a beautiful example of my vision. you know and I remember that when um, do, um Dr. Constance got in touch with me initially, one of the first things I told her was that I'd love to have a Level Up Academy chapter in Nigeria. And I'm working. Part of what I'm doing is, to try to get to that point. So that is my dream, really.
Well, I would actually argue a little bit that you are an entrepreneur. It depends. I mean, if you want to take your definition of entrepreneur as they have to be creating things and making things happen and putting vision out there, that's one type. But you are finding ways and you are supporting and you are still providing ideas even when you're working with other people because
Okay.
you're doing this on your own. This is really being very much a solopreneur of
Okay.
working with people, and you can say you're there just supporting people, but quite frankly a lot of entrepreneurs, that's what their job is
Mm,
a support role, whether it's working with a company, whether it's helping other people, even a lot of coaches, it's really a support role. You're there to support and help the individuals move beyond whatever box they're stuck in to
true.
move forward.
Yeah, I
And
would
to
agree with you.
you have to be able to you have to be able to still think on your feet, and you definitely do that, and come up with ideas and to see things
Oh,
from different perspectives.
okay.
All of that is still being an entrepreneur.
I would agree with you.
So
If you
it's like
say so.
when I listen to you do it, it's like, okay, and I know CJ rubs off on me too. It's like we're going to shift this narrative a little bit so that you see what you can do, what you have, and you know your limitations, and that's totally fine. But the
Cool.
things that you can do, just the stuff that you have done, it's the way you can write things, the way you have a way of viewing things
Mm,
to be able to add value to something,
thank you. Thank you.
and that's all part of being an entrepreneur, whether you want to say you're a follower or a leader, it doesn't matter.
It's all right by me, really. As long as I'm giving value, that's all I care about. The labels really don't even matter to me. You know,
Exactly. So we're moving you beyond that box right now so that it's like
beautiful,
you
beautiful,
are you, and you don't even have to
beautiful.
take a label if you don't want.
Exactly.
But in many ways, you are an entrepreneur because you are doing all of this that you're doing on your own. You're not you're not working company and stuff, and hey, there's the boss right there.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I could see as you were speaking, I could see some of, your positions, you know. So I appreciate your putting it in that form. Thank you.
Well, it's I'm so tired of boxes as is, and quite frankly, you put yourself in a box
Mm.
of that I didn't think you belonged. You
Oh,
contorted yourself to fit into a box, giving control to something or somebody else, when the reality is you have total control over your life,
yes.
and you've talked that everything you have said today is you have that control over your life, and
Yes.
now it's just time to don't even worry about labels. Ditch the box. If you don't want to say you're an entrepreneur, that's fine. Just don't say you're not one, because
All right. All right.
it,
Noted. Noted. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I I don't know. It's scary. Some of
yeah,
the things they get up to, you have to be like high strong always. Ah, no, I'm like an artist, like a philosopher. I just want peace. I don't want, I can't deal with that stress, of, balancing schedules and this, convincing people, persuading people to see your vision, and so on and so. Oh man, I tried. So I just calm down, and what I'm doing is I use my energy to work with whatever opportunity comes. Just take it easy.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And what that really is you being your authentic self and
Yes,
understanding whether it's entrepreneur, whether it's working in a company, whether it's managing in a company, whatever the role is,
yeah.
you just be yourself.
Cool.
And
True.
not all entrepreneurs are going to be high strung.
Okay.
Look at look at CJ. She could do a whole lot, but she's not always high strung. She is, and the same with me. Like I don't like being high strung.
No,
I
I
want to I
can't.
want to see stuff. I want to put it out there, and I want to help lift others up. Well, that's what
Cool.
we all are. Is we want that heart centered. We want everybody to fly, and they have to fly at their own pace in their own way.
I agree with you.
This is not where you thought the conversation was going to go, is it?
Not at all. I kept thinking how it was going to be because I found that every time I'm at a show and I have a conversation with people, I think the personality of the host says a lot about how the conversation goes. Each conversation I have very unique, and I
Yep.
love that. I love that.
Well, and like CJ knows for me, it's like faith is my foundation,
Wow.
and I just want I just want to keep everything on that level playing field, and for people to be who they're supposed to be and
Awesome.
not feel like they have to hide
Mm,
anything.
true. True.
I mean, it's you kind of talked about that a little bit at the very beginning
Oh, of course.
of once people's basically in your case, kind to paraphrase it, it was like once people start hiding themselves, they're doing things different,
Oh boy.
they're not what you expect or they're not what you know,
Mm.
then it's like you're ready to distance yourself because they're not being
Oh yeah.
authentic,
Oh yeah. Oh
or
yeah.
they're being inauthentic that just does not align with you, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah. 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 Thank
And
you, Jackie.
happy too.
Thanks, everyone.
We have an awesome audience today. Yes.
Oh, it's an incredible family. We're fortunate. I'm a man and an African at that. The way we are raised, the way our culture is, we are very strong, you know, emotionally, psychologically. And we keep a lot of things inside, I mean, just like
Right.
men all over the world, really. It's to a greater extent in Africa, I think, than in other places because of the social realities that we have to deal with. But I realize that the thing is that we all try to behave as if we don't need other people. But the thing is that we do. It
Yep.
might not be all the time, but it might be once in a while. But the thing is that we all need others, but it's just that we would end up being healthy for us, that the association will be healthy. You have some associations and they end up being very unhealthy.
Right.
They bring stress and concern. So I'm really happy with what we have here. So I just pray that it stays that way, it gets better even. So because I've been around a bit. I've been around a bit.
Yeah. I like Gabe's comment here. It's like energy is wonderful. Well, let's see. Jackie, I believe, is later. Is I think Jackie, I think you're next Friday, and Gabe, you're in a couple of weeks
Okay.
or next month. I can't remember. So it's like, yeah, get used to it. We want to have fun energy when it comes to when it comes to conversations because that's nobody likes pulling teeth. So we just let it
Ah,
flow.
I've lost a few, so I know.
Yeah, I've done that too, but uh, they were removed because supposedly the dentist said they had to be. Oh well,
Like, not easy.
no, it's not easy, never fun. Yeah, and the beauty is actually with Gabe and with Jackie, it's gonna be like with you. my
Awesome.
first my first conversation is
Oh,
basically be a
cool.
public conversation.
Wow. But I think it's a great way, really. I think it's a great way, because I have a feeling that we can look at it like an umpired interaction. When it's a coffee chat one on one, it can be subdued in some cases based on my experience. You know,
Right.
uh, yeah, because the two of you are alone, and that's the first time you're having that interaction with that person face to face. So there might be some degree, people subduing themselves to a certain extent, trying to find out who this person is, what the energy is like before they express themselves. But in a public format like this, you're comfortable because you know that so many other people too, you know, are watching and they can hear. So now after this, we can then have like a coffee chat, and so I mean, you understand. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's an interesting way to have a first conversation. Really, I think so. Yeah, because
And
now you might not, sorry, you might not be scared of me having one persona on LinkedIn and a different one on a one-on-one. And people can be so shocking sometimes, really, particularly online. I've had some shocks here and there, so
well, and that's I completely know this because when CJ and I were in Orlando, that was one of the things is okay, we're gonna meet these people. I mean, let's face it, meeting her in the San Diego airport was freaking phenomenal
imagine that.
because
I can just
I mean
imagine that.
I I land on a flight from Portland to San Diego, and then after just a little bit, there she is, and it's like seeing each other for the first time,
Can
which
you
was
imagine?
amazing. She's not as short as she claims, um, and not because of platform shoes either. It's her persona. But then we go
Hmm.
from that awesome first hug to live stream in the airport. And 40
Incredible.
minutes into an hour live stream shows up Sandra Gonzalez. And it's like the three of us had been together forever at that point.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what it does. That's what happens when you have energies that are in harmony. It's all about energy,
Exactly.
you know.
But but
Once you
it's
have
that
the energy, yeah, sorry, you were saying.
no, no, no. No,
You know,
it's that opportunity that when you meet people, you've got that impression of them from the comment conversations.
yeah,
Yet
I agree.
when you meet them in person, then the question becomes, are they are they really what you expect? And the most beautiful
Mm-hmm.
people are the ones who are usually more than what you
Hmm.
expected, where you just
Beautiful.
the click that you had, it's there as soon as you see them in live, and it's like the hugs are there. That was the case with CJ. That was with Sandra. That was with Nancy Deborah Barrows. With Sia, it was boom,
Wow.
and it was great, and there were a
Awesome.
couple of others too. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
oh yes, I know the question I'm gonna have to answer.
Ah!
Everybody knows my response to this because I've told her if walking through the pearly gates, if I only get to have one memory from this
Hmm.
life,
Hmm.
that memory is going to be that trip to Orlando with CJ.
Awesome. Awesome.
It, there
Awesome.
is
Awesome.
there is nothing else in my life to this point
Hmm.
that outdoes that trip,
Wow. Wow. Awesome.
and that's who
Awesome.
she is. That's the amazingness that it was everything and more that I expected. And the beautiful thing is, for me, there were so many firsts on that trip, and she's the
Hmm.
one that's there with me.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
couldn't have done a lot of what I did without
Hmm.
her.
Hmm.
I'm
Brilliant.
I
Beautiful.
know my life, and I'm not sure if you would say that if you've had similar. There are certain points in life where you sit back and you know that a change started. Something
Hmm.
happened, and you look
Yeah.
back to see who was it. My reinvention when that started, it started in a Sephora store, but there was only one. By the end of a year, I knew everybody in that store,
Hmm.
and I knew that the one person I met the first day was the only person who could have ignited a journey I didn't think was going to happen.
Wow.
And the same is with my shopping buddy here. Like
But
things,
okay.
things happened during Orlando that if she wasn't there, it would have never happened.
Wow. Awesome. 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 Really. She's just something else. I won't be here if it wasn't for her,
Yep,
you know.
exactly.
That's just the kind of energy. That's just the kind of human being that she is. It's incredible. It's just incredible. You know, uh, we're glad. You know, we're glad, and people like us are doing a great service to humanity. You know, because what we're doing is we're redefining as we go along um, the very nature of relationships. That's what we're
Mhm.
doing. And what, by doing that, what we're doing is that in the energy matrix of like the planet, we're creating new standards for possibilities, you know, of people being able to connect beyond, you know, national boundaries, beyond, you know, biological backgrounds, and so on and so forth. You know, so that is a major service, but it's usually underlooked, you know, by a lot of people, because most times we concentrate on things that we can see: technology, businesses, products, and all of that. But
Right.
I mean, if we look at it, what are the chances that I would be sitting in front of you at this show today? Those are the things we need to look at. And the thing is that by setting up, by doing what we're doing, by interacting, it's not that we sometimes we might not feel uncomfortable, you know. But I mean, that's what happens in a family. You're not going to say because you're uncomfortable, you're no longer going to be a part of that family. That's not what family means. You know, everywhere we are in life, it's about benefits and about obligations. You know, we take and we give, we take and we give. We just try to make sure that it's balanced. So we're doing a great thing here, you know, creating this kind of family that we have, you know. I really
Yeah.
believe that. I really believe that.
And it's beautiful to do that because when we
Yeah,
share,
yeah,
our whole purpose is really changing
true.
in different ways, changing things.
Yes, yes,
And everybody in the audience, they have their approach of how they're looking to change things. You have your
yeah,
approach. I
yes.
talk about the boxes. So that's what we're doing. We're busting, the way I view it, we're busting boxes, or as
Beautiful.
my gash brainer likes to say, shredding boxes. Um,
Shred it. Let's
all
shred
over,
them.
because this world does not need to live in a box.
No,
It just doesn't.
no. Yeah.
And the
Some people would not fit in.
no, but of course, this is the way the best conversations go. Is dang, we've hit the hour mark, and then already,
Already,
and
really.
you don't know what's going to happen, and then suddenly, boom! Oh man, there we go. So as we come to the end of this one, I do still want to know if you have any last golden nuggets you want to drop before we say goodbye to everybody,
Hmm.
and to make sure everybody knows how to get a hold of you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have a feeling everybody does, because I can see from all of the comments, you know, it's family, really. You know, Jackie,
But
Dr.
remember,
Constance. Yes.
this this is also living on my YouTube
Oh,
channel, and people
okay.
can watch the replay. This is not a one and done like the audio events. This
Okay.
is still going to be there. So
Oh, okay.
everything you say, what you do, it will live beyond
I-
now. And like you said, sometimes that person who needs to hear it, they might be in
Mhm.
the audience now, or they might catch the replay at a later date.
Cool.
So yes,
All
you
right.
want to make
Thank you.
sure how to reach you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you reminding me of that. So the thing is, I'm on LinkedIn primarily. Um, I'm on a couple of other platforms also, but I spend most of my time on LinkedIn. Um, then basically, what I do, what I'm really good at, is IT support generally. You know, it's easier. to do IT support services, software remotely. It's difficult to do hardware remotely. We've not been able to invent teleportation yet. So for now, people have software issues. You don't have to, if you reach out to me, I would help you resolve the issue. I've had a couple of people that have done that with, using their phone, WhatsApp, and all of that. Then graphic and web design, social media management. I help people to promote their audio events to try to bring in traffic. I share across all of my social media accounts. That's basically it. Writing, just support. Basically, just
Mhm.
I try to support with as much relevant value as possible. Because the value that is useful and relevant to a particular person or business might not necessarily be relevant to another person. Now, the thing about me is that I'm an intellectual, I'm very cerebral. So, what that means is that I'm not very outgoing, I'm not very social, even though I provide social media management support for businesses. But the thing is that I'm a thinker. So when there are challenges, operational challenges, or you want a particular objective achieved operationally in business, if you give it to me, I can look at the whole of the system. I mean, this is what I've done for like three, startup companies. I'm that way. I'm like, truly, apart from God and spending time with my kids and my friends, I'm happiest when I'm at the PC trying to solve a problem, researching and all of that. So I'm very open. Like I said, I'm still in search of like a full-time engagement. Had a couple of close ones, but so um I'm open to inquiries. We can have discussions. If you need help, if your business is at that level where you know that you cannot deal with some of the administrative things, you can, let's have a chat. And the thing about me is that I'm a very loyal person. I'm very committed. you know um so I'm not the kind of person that will take on a responsibility, and then after a while you'll find that that person is not reliable. It's difficult for me. That's part of the thing about me, that I'm very careful about things that I take on. I'm not very good at compartmentalizing. My life is my life. So when I take on a responsibility, it's not something that at some point in time I can close my mind and say, okay, well, that is done. Until the objective is achieved, I'm not done. I remember when I was working on the bank, by 4:30, and I'm not saying this to disparage anybody, I'm just trying to say it about who, the kind of person that I am. You understand? I have to love myself. So it might be seen as a weakness by other people, but the thing is that, like I told someone, it might seem pathetic, that what makes me truly happy is being using the computer, but I can't help it. That is the way that I am. So I have to make the best of it. By 4:30 p.m. people are already, tidying, kind of tidying up their tables and all of that, but I'm not. You know why? Because at home I don't have the kind of internet access at the office. At the office, I could download, like, in those days it used to be lydia.com, that tutorial, that academic site where you can learn practically everything, Lydia. And in the office, because we used to have a huge satellite dish, I could download a tutorial that was 35 gig in like 10 seconds or 8 seconds. It was really broadband. But when I get home, I don't have that kind of connection. So I used to hate it when it was close to, closing time. And people didn't understand it. But the thing is that all of the things that I learned, while working, at the bank, then I've been able to use to earn a living years
Right.
after. All the salary is gone, all the benefits, all of those things, but I have the skills. of being able to work at operational levels, and it's kept me alive and my family. So I'm not someone who gives up, and I'm always very determined. I can't stop. I won't stop until the no, I won't until the objective is achieved. So please reach out if you know of anyone who's in need, of support in the areas that that I've mentioned: graphic and web design, social media management, support of audio events, like I'm doing presently for Power Thinking Core. You know, resilience audio events on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, and then the magazine for Level Up Academy and so on and
Yep.
so forth. I just love what I do. I really do. I really do. It keeps me alive. I'm 51. I feel that people grow old before their time if they don't have a passion.
Right.
My passion drives me. It keeps me young. I can feel it. I'm not aware of any age, anything that my age has brought as a difference. I feel as young as I've ever been. Because I spend all my time using my mind, being compassionate, being thoughtful,
Yep.
because I really feel that the way people think, the way, the kind of conscience that people have, I think it reflects on them physically. I really believe that. I could be wrong. I feel that if you're an open person, if you're a compassionate person, if you're kind, if you're honest, those are positive energies. And what would happen is that I think it would have an impact on your physical being. That is just my opinion. I'm not aggressive in a way that um, I would cut corners. I don't struggle with people. For opportunities, I step back if there's going to be like a horrible struggle for things. I don't do that, because I believe that if something is really meant for me, then it will come to me. That's really what I believe. I
Yep.
just take it easy. Thank you. And
Oh,
Susanna, this has been an incredible, when I took the date and you asked me for the bio and the picture, I kept thinking, how's it gonna be? This is gonna be my first conversation with you. But I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. This is an incredible platform because I love all of the comments that I've been seeing. I'm very grateful for that. And that is an indication of how, brothers and sisters in the family perceive you as a person. And that is important, you know.
well, it was
Thank you.
fun too because you this is show number 25. So I've now had
Wow.
25 shows.
Wow.
I think I've skipped maybe 3 weeks, but then I've
Wow.
also had a number of them where I just would end up with 2 shows in a week for various reasons, and, well, between now and the end of March, yeah, it's
Wow.
gonna be 2 shows and a lot of amazing people. So it's been great having you on. I'm so glad you were
Thank
here,
you. Thank you. Thank
and
you.
the interesting thing is I have a very interesting guest who will be on next Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm not I'm not gonna I'm not gonna divulge the name at this point.
Okay.
Yet it is another of the amazing authors
Oh.
in Beyond Boundaries. And I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised when this one shows up. But it's a good thing. So
Yes, it is.
thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody who's been in the audience.
Thank you.
And I will see you next Wednesday. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye. Love you.